The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. S&P 500 now down 5.49. Going the wrong direction, but it is what it is. The 10-year Treasury, let's see what that's doing. We're right in between a couple of technical areas. So we have been watching that for you. My computer is moving extremely slow right now, so trying to get that back. Let's go to the other section and see if that'll tell me what the 10-year Treasury is doing. 3.519 up just a touch right now, so it's not a whole heck of a lot. And let's take a look at OBMMI. Every morning at this time, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loan, 6.192, up a little bit. 30-year jumbo, 6.027, down a little bit. 30-year FHA, 6.192, up a little bit. The 30-year USDA rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.184. And the 30-year VA loan, 5.938. That was up a little bit. And again, none of these tell us how many points people had to pay to get these numbers. It doesn't show that part of it. It just gives us the raw lock data. So we're watching all of that very, very closely for you. But the reason we want to talk about this is the why. So I am going to throw this out there just because I can. So on November, we told you last year to look at November 10th as the date that we would see core CPI inflation make a turn lower. Yeah, sure enough, it had one of its best days of the year, leading to a decline in rates. Now, again, we're looking forward. We're going to believe that the second quarter will be a very good period of time for inflation to move lower, causing another meaningful leg lower in rates, specifically, as I mentioned in the last segment. May 10th is another day to circle on your calendar. You know what the beauty is of this? And I'm going to talk to Todd about this in a minute. But, he goes to these economic places, and they've got all these really, really smart people. And they take the data that is given to them, like people like Todd. He'll take the data that's given to them, and they use that, and they share that, and they got to hedge it because, if it's wrong, they don't want anybody to invest based on, faulty information. But they keep it. The beauty is we're doing a radio show. And on May 10th, if my prediction doesn't come out to be as I said, well, we just let it slide under the carpet. Nobody knows any different. I'm just kidding. We'll talk about it. But something we did talk about, this being November 10th was going to be the date because of the rolling periods. So January CPI is released February 14th. We got a high replacement of overall core, low replacement of shelter. May not see anything meaningful there. February CPI is released on March 14th. High replacement of both core and shelter. Could be a good inflation drop on that date. March CPI released April 12th. Low replacement on core, high on shelter. So again, not a lot of progress. And the April CPI, which is released on May 10th, high replacement of core and shelter. And this continues for the entire quarter. So May 10th should be that start for another big leg down in the interest rates. Manufacturing continues to show weakness. The ISM Manufacturing Index showed that last 2 months of 2022 ended in contraction. The first 2023 regional reading for manufacturing activity released for New York showed that activity plunged to down 33. This was much worse than estimates of 8.6. And you remove the low from COVID. This is the worst reading since March of 2009. Other notable findings from the internals: new orders went from down 3.6 to down 31.1. Shipments dropped from 22.4 to plus 5.3. Backlogs fell to 14.3, are in contraction for an eighth straight month. Inventories rose slightly. Prices paid fell a sharp 17 points to 33. Employment dropped 11 points to the lowest since September. Work week fell further below zero at negative 10.4. That's just for one region. See what happens on the rest. CoreLogic single-family rent report that price gains decelerated in November to plus 7.5% from last year, which is a slower pace of increase than the 8.8% in October, still almost double the average rental year-over-year increase pre-COVID of about 4%. But this deceleration will help inflation move lower once it catches up in the numbers, which we think will happen in the first half of 2023. A lot of data coming out this week. I'm not going to go through all of it, but that is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990.